Yo, 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 it's B-tean Screen. How's a really new day? I'm doing fantastic. We're back again, another episode. Well, another one off. We're doing pretty much Gen 1 of Skylanders, so Spyro's Adventure. What would they be if it was in Pokemon? So, some of them are actually cool and make sense. Some of them you won't even see really coming. So, start off, we're going on with the fire element. First up is Eruptor. It should make sense that he is fire, but he's also gonna be rock type because he's magma. Magma is molten rock, so it makes sense. Next up, Flame Slinger is pure fire because all his moves are arrows, well, flaming arrows. So yeah. Ignitor. Ignitor's where it got kind of difficult to understand because he could really be three types. Definitely fire. But he could also be Steel or Ghost. Because Steel for the armor, but then one of his moves is also a Fire Spirit, where he goes around. But you can still just make that just fire, so I just went with Fire and Steel. Next up is Sunburn, one of the dragons of the Skylander lore. There's 10 overall. So he's going to be a fire dragon, typical. See, it was fire, rock, and probably undead were the most. Oh yeah, of course it's gonna be like that. Maybe tech and life too, but other than that, yeah. Next up, we are gonna do the water element. Next is Zap, which from the name shouldn't say electric. Now, Zap is also one of the dragons of it, but I did not make him a dragon type because he has no dragon-esque moves. Instead, I made him water type because he has a freaking surfing attack. So, yeah. Next up is Gilgrunt, who is a water type and a steel type because he only has one water move. The other ones are just harpoons being fired with steel. So, I figured might as well just make him water steel. Next up is kind of a wait, what kind of thing is Slam Bam. So, he's gonna be an ice and fighting type, just because his moves show that he makes prisms of ice, and then he punches, so fighting. So yeah. Next up is Whamshell, straight up water type because you can't really do anything else with him. And then next up, Earth Element, which will be first off Terrafin, who is going to be a ground and fighting type because once again he punches things as one of his attacks, so fighting, and he uses dig, and he also has body types fighting. Yeah. Next up is Prism Break, which I'm putting as a rock type, straight up rock because I don't know what else to make him. Next up is Bash, which will be rock and steel, primarily because he's also one of the dragons of the lore, and he is rock because he's literally just a boulder dragon. And then he's also steel because he has plates of armor all over his body, and one of his upgrades is also armor. Next up is Dynarang, which this kind of took a little bit of twist. He is rock and psychic. Rock because he has stone boomerangs that he throws around, but psychic because one of his abilities makes him so he can control the boomerang flying around. So it's psychic on the boomerang. So yeah. Next up, we're doing air. Lightning Rod. I put him as electric flying because he's Lightning Rod. You can't really. The name just is electric, and he's also a cloud, so flying. Next up is Sonic Boom, which I just put as normal and flying because not much else you can do with him. Because yeah, one of his attacks is hey, babies. But there's no sound type, so normal is the closest thing you can have to it because literally Sonic Boom is a normal type move. Next up, we have Vornado. He's just gonna be a straight up flying type because there's not much else that he has to offer really. He sends out tornadoes, and that's it. Hurricanes. Yeah. Next up is Whirlwind, which is actually something that I did not expect. Whirlwind, don't let the name fool you. He is an electric and fairy type. Well, she. Again, one of the dragon hybrids. Warnado. I chose fairy type because shoots freaking rainbows at its enemies, and electric because electric bolts shoot out of the clouds when they bounce, and and it's also like one of his moves is like, hey yo, cloud of lightning go. So wow, a lot of electric types that aren't even from electric. So then next up is tech. We have Boomer, which I made in electric and fire type because he's freaking throwing bombs that explode, fire, and he's just a tech elemental like electric, you know? Yeah. Next up is Drill Sergeant, who I just decided to do electric and steel because he is completely steel. And one of his moves also makes it a protective force field of electricity around him, so it makes sense. Next up is my favorite, Drobot, who I made a steel and dragon type because he's literally a one of the dragons. There's a dragon from each element in the first game, so I kind of find that funny. Okay, but yeah, he's a dragon and steel because, again, armor all over his body. Next up is Trigger Happy, and because he literally only shoots out gold coins and bullets, I made him steel type because not really much else he can do. I can make him another electric and steel type, but I didn't really want to duplicate any types. I tried not to within the same element, although I'm pretty sure I did. Actually, no, I didn't. There's only one time I duplicated types, I think. So, yeah. Next up, we have the magic element, Double Trouble. Magic, you can't really decide. It's definitely that. So, I made him electric and psychic because, again, he has a freaking magic wand that he shoots electric beams out of, as well as he's just magic, so psychic works. Next up is Spyro, Fire Dragon, because I was gonna make him psychic, but like he shoots out fireballs, and he's also the dragon of the series. You cannot argue with me about Spyro not being dragon type. Next up is Voodoo, who I made psychic and steel. This was another one where I was like, I could easily make him electric type because he has the magic force field. But since like the two lines repel objects, I just decided it's like mirror coat, make it psychic, and then steel type because again he has a giant freaking axe made of steel, so he's gonna attack people with steel. I don't know. Next up is actually nice typing, Wrecking Ball, who I made a psychic bug because he's a freaking bug of some sort, I don't know, and magic is psychic, you know? Yeah. I don't know. Next up, Life, we have Camo, who once again is a dragon, so I made him Grass and Dragon because of his looks really, and he also has like grass fireballs? I don't know. Next is Stealth Elf. I made her a ghost type, not grass, just ghost, because literally part of its moveset is literally just make a dummy and then just go around as a spirit, and then also make a duplicate of itself. So like, ghost kind of fits Stealth Elf pretty well. Next up, Dump Smash. It's freaking grass type. You can't really. He's a freaking tree. You can make him other types, but like, I didn't really feel like trying to add anything else. You can make him fighting because like he whacks things, fights things, you know. But no, I just made him pure grass. Next up is Zook, which is a grass and fire type because once again, he's a bazooka. He uses a bazooka which explodes, fire, boom, and he's also a plant. And he summons mushrooms. Yeah. And then last type of all, Undead, which we have Chop Chop. I made him a Ghost of Steel because he's literally just a suit of armor reincarnated with skeleton. So he's ghost because he's skeletal, you know. Next up is Cinder, another dragon, but I did not make him her dragon type. I made him her, Ghost and Electric, because you have the Shadow Dash, which leaves behind Ghost, so Ghost perfect, and then instead of fireballs, she shoots out electricity, so electric type works fine. Next up is Ghost Roaster, which was actually one that was gonna be a duplicate type, but I decided not to. I just made Ghost Roaster a pure ghost type. He could have been steel, but I didn't feel like it, because for obvious reasons, really. I already have a steel type, but just also on his, he has a chain tail, so like that's where the steel could have gone in. But like, he's more ghostly than anything else, right in the name. And then last and certainly least, sorry Hex, we have Hex as a ghost and dark type, just because it's I could have easily made it a psychic type too, because she summons skulls to kill things, but I feel like ghost and dark would fit her best, because it's a freaking dark mage, so like what is better than dark? And it's also like summoning bones and all that, ghost type would be good. But yeah, this took a lot less time than I thought it would. Thank you guys so much for watching this one off that is literally just useless, I guess. This will be fun to edit though, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Piece of B-tean screen. See you next time. Please go back 2 days ago. I uploaded a white screen lock. Go vote for my starter. And peace.